So, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our enriching conversations at the 16th Agriculture Leadership Conclave, we now move to session 4, titled Innovating Technology Solutions for Agriculture. In an era where every sector is being reshaped by innovation, agriculture stands at a powerful inflection point. Technology, from biotech and AI to digital transformation, marketplaces, and smart mechanisms, is redefining the way we grow, process, and distribute food. This session brings together leading innovators, industry pioneers, and policy shapers who are actively transforming agriculture through science, technology, and scale. And the session is being moderated by Mr. Deepak Parekh. Let's put our hands together to welcome him once again on the stage. Warm welcome to you, sir. I invite eminent panelist, Mr. Himanshu Ratan, Partner and Head Food Agriculture and Allied Services, GNPS, KPMG. Mr. Ratan leads KPMG's agri-advisory practice and has deep expertise in agri-value chain transformation, food systems, strategy, and sustainable agri-business consulting for both private and public sector clients. Warm welcome to you, sir. Inviting Dr. Jitendra Kumar, Managing Director, BIRAC. As the head of BIRAC, Dr. Kumar oversees India's most dynamic biotech innovation ecosystem. He has played a pivotal role in supporting agri-biotech startups, research institutions, and public-private partnerships. We invite Mr. R.L. Tamak, Chief Executive Officer, DCM Shriram. Mr. Tamak brings extensive experience in agri-inputs and rural value creation. Under his leadership, DCM Shriram continues to pioneer innovations in crop nutrition, irrigation solutions, and farmer engagement. We invite Mr. Rakesh Swami, President Godrej India. With deep experience in food and agribusiness strategy, Mr. Swami plays a key role in shaping Godrej's agri and animal nutrition divisions, integrating sustainability research and farmer-led growth. We invite Dr. Bakul Joshi, Managing Director, Tea Stains and Company Limited. Dr. Joshi leads one of India's oldest agri-input companies, which has innovated across biocontrol agents, organic nutrients, and eco-friendly products to support regenerative agriculture. And I invite Mr. Kuldeep Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, HIL India Limited. As CMD of HIL India, Mr. Singh is spearheading the modernization of agrochemical production, focusing on safety, sustainability, and accessibility for farmers across the country. And we would like to invite, we have in this session also a special online address by Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, who is founder and chairman, Apollo Hospitals Group. He who is joining us virtually is a true pioneer of Indian healthcare, Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, who has long advocated for the integration of health and agriculture, emphasizing the role of nutrition, preventive care, and holistic rural development. And we will be honored to hear his special address, which he will be giving us virtually. And I now hand over to our session moderator. Over to you, sir. I request you to close this session by 3 o'clock.
Hello. Yeah, thanks a lot for giving me opportunity to moderate such a very important and a topic which I believe is, when you talk about this conference, I think should be the last word of what needs to be done, because we have seen that as a nation we have done a lot of good things. In fact, digital infrastructure, we are one of the best in the world. Like, anywhere you cannot find something like UPI. Right, COVID we did excellently well. Our certification was so good. So we have done a lot of good things when it comes to technology implementation in other sectors. But when it comes to agriculture, I think we are still struggling. We are still not there. And the productivity numbers, they tell a lot, right? When we talk about pulses, in fact, our average yields are lower than Myanmar in Africa, which doesn't paint a great picture. When we talk about rice, again, we are struggling when we compare to China. So I think a lot needs to be done. And sir, even in oil sector, like, we are seeing a challenge. In 1984, we had this mission for making India self-sufficient in oil seeds and vegetable oil, but still we are struggling. We are not being there now. 60% of oil still imported. And I'll start with you, sir. Godrej has been doing really awesome work when it comes to one of the very difficult commodity, that's palm. Generally, it is understood it is grown typically in tropical area, so Indonesia, Malaysia, certain extent in Africa and Nigeria and all that. We have seen the productivity being there. But of late, we have seen that Godrej has done some innovative work. And because of that, we have seen the yields increasing. And we are at some place where we have started seeing India can also be a sizable producer of palm oil. So your views.
Thank you, Deepak ji. First of all, very good afternoon and namaskar to everyone here in the room. I represent a company, Godrej, but I would like to thank Agriculture Today for inviting me to this session and sharing our viewpoints. So Deepak ji mentioned about the oil palm, and I'm proud to say that Godrej is #1 company in India in oil palm segment as well. So we work in about 12 states in the south and northeast, and we have about 75,000 hectare area under plantation, and we manage the complete crop cycle, right from the seedlings to the entire crop value chain, agronomic practices, and also of course the procurement of the final fresh fruit bunches. So and we see that this is an important area for sustainability and also Atmanirbhar Bharat. And there's a huge import bill on account of oil palm that we get it from Malaysia and Indonesia. And there is a good amount of work that's happening in this segment. And with all our presence in the 12 states and with the NMEOP, which is National Mission on Oil Palm, we are progressing further. And with the government support and partnership, I think there is a lot that we can do together. And the question which Deepak ji you asked me is what are we doing differently? So I think one initiative which I would like to mention, we all talk about technology and innovation. In agriculture, technology and innovations have no use in case if it's not kind of practiced and implemented and kind of ensured that it reaches the last mile. So one such initiative for the Godrej Agrovet is the Samadhan Center. As the Samadhan word itself signifies that it's a solution-oriented center. So we have set up 15 such centers in the Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh so far. So these Samadhan centers, they serve as a purpose of single-stop solution for all the services, right from providing the saplings, seedlings, and also the input like micro and macronutrients, fertilizer, micro irrigation facility, and finally training the farmers on the crop agronomic practices and also procuring the final produce. So that sometime a doctor says, and he will say that kindly use so and so medicine, and then the patient will go from door to door and from hospital to hospital and medical store to medical store, would not find those medicine at all. So what we do is, for 100% farmers, we do the testing of their soil and testing of the leaves on those areas and see what is the deficiency. And then we recommend the solutions, and we ensure that those macronutrients, micronutrients are made available through these Samadhan centers, and also the custom hiring center, like all farm mechanization needs are also fulfilled. So I think I'm just going towards a point, like as of now, we have 15 such centers in Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh, and 10 more in making. So we'll make it 25 maybe by the end of this year. But will this 25 will be good enough? So to the policy makers and to agriculture today, we would like to communicate to the government that there is a need for more and more such centers, wherein the solutions they reach to the farmers in a much more efficient manner. The second initiative on the technology piece, Deepak ji, I would like to highlight is the geotagging of all these plants. So as of now, we have 75,000 hectare area under plantation. Almost 95% of it is geotagged, right from the seedling, sapling and nursery stage to the final plantation, and how the fruit bunches reaches to our factory for processing. So it's completely mapped, so there is a traceability that has been established, at any point in time. So I thought I'll highlight these two specific initiatives and also share my views in terms of partnering together and coming together, not only just by opening more and more such Samadhan center, and it may not be just palm oil or oil palm crop. It can be for any other crop specific, Samadhan center. And I'm sure this will be a good stepping stone, and also the farmers will be benefited. Their incomes will go up, and as their accessibility, Prime Minister talks about, ease of doing business, the ease of life, it's ease of access to the technology through such centers is the need of our, and I would urge for more partnership from the public and private and the companies on such initiatives.
So you are also having some plantation in Northeast?
Yes, we do have.
How are they doing?
They are doing very well, but I think Northeast, the problem is about road infrastructure. So all these fresh fruit bunches, they need to reach the mill for processing well within 24 hours. So sometime like in Mizoram, etc., it takes more than 2 days. So the quality of the yield or produce goes down. So we need that support as well.
Nanda, the reason I ask you this question is that a long back, somebody in the government asked me that actually, this mission for palm oil, right, what are some of the challenges you are seeing? And that time, the government was very upbeat about promoting Northeast. And I said, sir, two things. One is infrastructure, for sure, what you have mentioned. And secondly, just Google the definition of a palm. It's a tropical fruit, right? And Mizoram is not definitely in tropical zone. So I'll go to you, Kuldeep ji. So Kuldeep ji, you have been one of the oldest player and a PSU active in agriculture inputs, from seed to agrochemicals. Now, in your view, what are the areas of innovation where you see that you have been able to touch upon to make agriculture more sustainable by your efforts, or maybe by you leveraging some of the government policies, sir?
Thank you, Deepak ji. Good afternoon to all. And thanks Agriculture Today for giving the opportunity to interact all of you. As all of you know that HIL India is a 7-decade-old company. Basically, we are into the manufacturing of the key agricultural inputs, that is agrochemicals, seeds and fertilizer. And we were also working in the health product also. This company was established for production of the DET in 1954. But by the passage of the time, and since we are the signatory to the Stockholm Convention, DET has been phased out. From 2024, we have shut down all the plants. But alternate to DET, what we have done it, we have implemented one of the project of the UN. And under this project, we are manufacturing the LLN, long-lasting insecticidal nets. And as of now, our capacity is around 335 lakhs nets per annum, which we are distributing through the Ministry of Health across the country. In addition to this, we are also coming to the BTI, and this capacity is 200 KL per year. We are also implementing one more project, that is a farm project, that is farming, financing, agrochemical reduction management. As of now, HIL India Limited is producing around 12,000 MT of HSPs and the POPs. The basic aim of this project is to reduce the production of the POPs and the HSPs. In the next 5 years, we have planned to reduce our production of the HSPs from 5,000 MT to 3,000 MT. And we have targeted to produce this alternate to the HSPs, that is our BTK, trichoderma, and the neem products. The total capacity of this project would be around 1,000 MT per year. And we have planned to cover around 1.45 million hectare area, that is to 1 hectare per farmer. That means 1.55 million hectare farmers. This project is being implemented in the 14 states and the 11 crops across the country. That was the plan of the HIL.
Excellent, moving from poison to something which is actually making world sustainable. That's a great story, sir. Congratulations for that. So now I'll go to Dr. Bakul Joshi. Sir, your company has been involved in really working at the grassroots level in converting, right, the agriculture to be sustainable agriculture with the bio-interventions. We would like to understand your story, how do you see, going forward also, how we can have a better push and also make overall biological sector little bit more trustable. Because I'll give one example. The government of India came with very beautiful policy on Govardhan, because a lot of CBG plants were producing biogas. So they said they are having a waste which is actually slurry. Now slurry is having NPK. Now they say that, like, liquid organic fermented manure or fermented manure, you use it and we would give you all the waivers, right, till 2026. Now suddenly we have seen that actually people are selling anything and everything, including from water to sand, right, because actually it is not regulated at all. In such environment, how easy or how difficult it is to still, like, continuously pursue for sustainable agriculture using biologicals?
Yes. First of all, happy Guru Purnima to all. We have reached here because some of our gurus, in last 2 days also, I found many gurus here because I learned a lot from this group of people. These are the platforms which can give us a lot of teachings, and these learnings we can take to the farming community. So thank you so much, Agriculture Today group, Dr. Khan and everybody sitting here. Every session I learned something. Biologicals. I represent a company called T-Stance, and our punchline is, we are friends of Earth. We want to create a better world, and hence my company, if at all, Bayer is #1 company in chemical pesticides. We are #1 company, I can say with confidence that we are #1 company in biologicals. And I'll tell you, and what you mentioned, I mean, there are so many. Biologicals are seen with suspicion. For me to understand the power of biologicals, the moment I joined this company, I traveled 2,000 kilometers to see what is the pulse of the farmers when it comes to biologicals. And I was amazed and pleasantly surprised. There is a great awareness, and one dealer made a quote, and I want to quote it here. He said, "Sir, जब किसान सब तरीके से थक जाता है, तब हम आपकी कंपनी की प्रोडक्ट, बायोलॉजिकल प्रोडक्ट उसको देते हैं और उसकी फसल को बचाते हैं." That gave me a huge confidence. We are touching base with the real dreaded problem of the farmers, like, say, for example, nematodes. Today, ICR report says 70% of the country's agricultural land is inflicted by nematode. Some of the chemical solutions are 4,000 to 5,000 rupees per acre treatment. We give a complete package on nematode solutions, because when nematode infects plant, the root system is damaged, and then there will be fungal attack. Now root growth is affected because of the nematode and fungal attack. Plant cannot take nutrient. We give a complete package to the farmers for nematode management, and you go to the progressive farmers like Chhattisgarh or a potato growers of Gujarat, you will find that they have been using this package at 1/3 of the cost of application, and they are managing their nematode, fungal, and nutrition problem. And you would be surprised to know a revolution is going to come. When I was conducting a farmer meeting, I'll take just last 2 minutes. There were 350 progressive farmers, and one farmer stood up and he said, "Sir, one container load of organically grown vegetables and fruits we exported to Germany. Your company's products we are using. We want solution for the herbicides, for weed control. There is no biological solutions to weed. So possibly through technology we can give some solutions." And one message I want to give you. Just last week I was conducting a farmer meeting in Haryana, and after the meeting I have a habit of concluding farmer meeting. I ask questions, what did you learn? There was an 11-year boy sitting in the room, because I was talking about biological, sustainable agriculture. And when I asked, what did you learn? And that 11 years old boy raised his hand. He said, "I learned one thing." 11 years old boy, remember this. He said, "What I learned from your talk is, हमारे किसान केमिकल पेस्टिसाइड बहुत यूज करते हैं." 11 साल का बच्चा केमिकल पेस्टिसाइड बहुत यूज करते हैं. वो सिर्फ क्वांटिटी पे ध्यान देते हैं, क्वालिटी पे ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. इसलिए काफी हमारे एक्सपोर्ट कंसाइनमेंट बिकॉज ऑफ द पेस्टिसाइड एमआरएल इश्यूज गेट रिजेक्टेड. पॉसिबली हमें उस दिशा में काम करना पड़ेगा. 11 साल का बच्चा. I have a recorded video of that boy. So my dear friends, here we play a role. So many export consignments are rejected, be it grapes, be it basmati rice. There is a need to have sustainable agriculture, biological solutions. I don't say we don't need chemical pesticides and chemical fertilizers, but there has to be integrated nutrition management, integrated pest management, integrated disease management, integrated water stress management. If we do together, we will really bring a new dawn to Indian agriculture. That's what I can say. Thank you so much.
No, in fact, that post has gone viral on LinkedIn also, so I've seen that. Yeah. See, it tells you a couple of things, like, very interesting examples sir has given. First is that actually, now 11-year-old also have access to a lot of information. That's one. Now, that's the power of digitization. So I was talking about digital infrastructure. Now, today, actually, even that young kid is having access to mobile phone, which actually is having a WhatsApp, and where he can see through, and then ChatGPT can also search that actually what is being said is right or wrong. So that's I'm saying that when we talk about innovation, WhatsApp is one of the biggest innovation in the farming sector. In fact, in COVID times, I've sold tons and tons of potato itself, a farmer, simple using WhatsApp, because that was the only tool available there. So I think innovation came in multiple forms. And second point, when you talk about potato farmers, sir, in Gujarat, so there is a district called Sabarkantha.
Yeah.
So Sabarkantha, you'll be surprised, they are typically Kachi Patels, which are very progressive farmers there.
They are there in Chhattisgarh also.
Yeah, so I've worked extensively with them, and they will get 2 to 3 times yield of other farmers, 45 tons per hectare type of yield. And then I ask him how you are able to achieve it. So they say, anything new will come, na? One line I'll use it. So any new thing, good, bad, one line I have to use it. If it works, next year I'll use it. If not, I'll dump it. So farmer themselves, they have actually also doing the efficacy studies. So that is what I'm saying that a progressive farmer can be. And I think that real innovation is at the grassroots with the farmers. Now, sir, Jitendra ji, we'll go to you, right? Being someone from, I'll give him this mic, yeah. So coming someone who has been on the pioneer of developing new technology, supporting new technology, specifically the biotechnology being with the BioRec. Your views on, sir, how do you see that innovation folding out, specifically in your space in India?
Thank you. Thank you, Agriculture Today, for this important meeting, conclave. Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council is a public sector undertaking under Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. It's a Section 8 company, and it's the only agency from Government of India which can fund the innovators, the startups directly. There are other agencies which fund indirectly, but we are here to support directly. And this is mandated through a cabinet approval. We have funded close to 4,000 startups, and many of them in the agriculture field, under various schemes. So Biotech Ignition Grant is the first one, which we give to any innovator who has new idea, who wants to test it and start a company, or already started a company, and for one project, innovative project, they want a money. Grant, total pure grant. We have funded so many innovators in that. Once the proof of concept is done, we will fund next line of funding program, BIPP, SIBRI, PCP, and all that. So these are not grants; these are co-funding. So we put some money, and the innovator has to put some money. Startup has to industry. Apart from this mechanism, we have equity funding also. See, government funding in an equity manner. We have innovated the mechanism of innovative funding by putting funds of funds together. So alternate investment funds. So 7 crores. So we have impaneled some 14 venture capitalists who would actually invest on our behalf, the government's behalf, so that we don't come into a picture, because being a government agency is very difficult to value a company, arrive at the valuation and all, and taking shares. So we route our funds through venture capitalists, and they actually fund these startups. So this is another mechanism through which we fund startups. Many of these programs have given rise to so many innovators and in agriculture field, and new products and new technologies have come to the market. Many of these products which was mentioned by the previous speaker, biological control agents, etc., are there, biofertilizers. So many of these innovators have come and they have used this. However, Being from the Department of Biotechnology, we want to lay stress more on the deeper technologies. So CRISPR-Cas gene editing technologies. So, many innovators, many professors from universities are working on it to create nematode resistant, disease resistant, drought resistant for climate change, that's resistant, etc. This kind of, innovations. The other field which we are seeing emerging is in the area of secondary agriculture. So for example, bioethanol production from the bagasse or agricultural waste through solid state fermentation and all that we are seeing. We have so many innovators who are going into this field. Why this is important for agriculture is because the raw material used is from the agriculture. And it's a waste material sometimes for the farmers which can yield lot of value to the industry. So it's directly coming to the industry as a raw material. Especially bamboo, for example, in Northeast, we have a Numaligarh refinery plant where there is a talk going on to use bamboo, waste from bamboo cultivation for 2G ethanol production. So these are some of the innovations that are happening in our, through biotechnology department. And I think every year when we launch the calls, we get lot of good applications. Let me tell you that agriculture has wider ramifications. This has ramifications not only on healthcare, also on climate change, but also the total environmental, ecosystem that we have. So agriculture should not be looked at in the isolation. So when we are funding carbon capture technology, actually we are trying to, see that agriculture is also growing. When we are funding the technologies related to ethanol, I say it's important that this sector grows because ultimately farmers will benefit. The other thing, last thing which I want to tell is whenever we are talking about innovations in agriculture, we must keep the farmers in mind. We may be very high tech, but ultimately it will increase the input cost for the agriculture. If the input cost of the agriculture is increased, it's very, very difficult for it to get to the field. We all know, because farmers are very, very price sensitive, cost sensitive. They will not use any technology which increases the cost of production, because ultimately you know how it works. Marketing and all its price control mechanisms are there. They cannot sell in the retail. So keeping in mind these technologies like WhatsApp, he says it has revolutionized many things in agriculture because the information asymmetry is gone now. The use of WhatsApp by the farmers can tell them about the crop weather condition, the marketing conditions, etc. So many apps that we have funded actually, which are have gone to the marketplaces and they are being used. So thank you so much. I would love to talk more about in this.
Sure. So now, first of all, Tamakji, right? He is a pioneer of sustainability in most unsustainable crop in the world, right? So DCM Shriram actually working on sugarcane, and believe me, I don't eat sugar. I hate both the health impact as well as environmental impact. But after meeting him, I started eating sweets at least, because he has been able to convince me that actually the sugar cane which they are growing and hence the sugar which they are making is sustainable. I think we need to clap for the work being done by DCM Shriram and Tamakji in sustainable agriculture. Sir, we would like to hear from you the great work you have done in making one of the most inefficient industry, the sugar industry, sustainable. Your views, sir.
Thank you, Agriculture Today, and thank you, Deepak Bhai, for giving this opportunity to share my views and your compliments. This means a lot to us. I shall like to share our experiences as practitioner of sustainability in our space, though I disagree a bit about the comments what you said. Sugarcane is a wonderful crop. Everything of sugarcane is being used for economic purpose. It's a classical case of circular economy, and so is sugar industry. And about sugar particularly, there are opinions, but I think we have at association level also, we have decided to place right facts before the consumers so that consumer can make their choice with empirical evidence. So that is a different story. And one thing particular, like for example, sugarcane is commonly termed as a water guzzler crop. Very recently, Government of India has got a study done, and so has ISMA done a study through some government institutes, and it has been established that sugarcane is water efficient crop in comparison to other cropping patterns like paddy, wheat, and if you include maize also. Again, based on economic value generated per unit area, per unit time. So this is the brief comment about.
Sir, I said those things just to excite you so that you will give the way you convinced me, right? You'll convince the rest of the people so they can eat more sugar.
All right. So coming to our organization, as most of you know that DCM is present in many verticals, including fertilizers, seeds, chemicals, industrial products, sugar and ethanol. Jitendraji touched about ethanol also. Just to give you a brief snapshot of DCM Shriram's sugar and ethanol business, we produce about 75 lakh quintals of sugar annually and 18 crore liter ethanol. Very recently, we have entered into CBG production also based on press mud. And we have in our portfolio in sugar business, we have one plant of potassium sulfate. And this potassium sulfate export quality fertilizer is produced out of distillery ash. And this is a classical case of waste to value addition. And it is the first plant of its kind globally. And the technology is indigenous. So this is the broad snapshot of our sugar business. In terms of our sugarcane growers, we take supply from about 2 lakh farmers. And we have tried to build up an enabling ecosystem for our growers over there. In terms of both digital infrastructure and physical infrastructure. In terms of physical infrastructure, we have set up 4 soil testing labs for our plants. We have 4 locations where our sugar factories are established. And we have also, Dr. Bakul Joshi, we have set up 2 biological control labs. In sugar factory, those are the largest labs in biological control labs. And tissue culture lab, we are in the process of setting up. By December, it will be set up. Also, we have, in terms of digital infrastructure, we have set up one call center. It is 98 lines call center, manned by about 15 number staff. Again, this is first of its kind call center in the industry. On an average basis, 700 calls are received on per day basis during season, about 400 in lean season, and approximately 2,000 on outbound calls, just to propagate the good agronomic practices and to interact with the farmers on consistent basis. This is a very good example, set up during the time of COVID, but now we have expanded its horizon and also added certain more offerings through this call center. Now, adding to this, besides WhatsApp group, which is commonly used, now we are using extensively remote sensing technology. And in approximately 10,000 plots, those are GPS enabled, and through that, we have also set up about 52 micro weather stations in our area, just to give the exact weather advisory in the catchment area of about 7 to 8 kilometers. So we have tried to integrate everything, basically farmer, factory, and field staff. So everybody is interconnected, and whatsoever is to be, information is to be provided, that is provided promptly, efficiently, and accurately. That is objective. So good results have been achieved on ground, but before that, I must say one thing. We always talk about new technology, but I'm a strong proponent of implementing proven technology, proven practices rather, on scale. Because, for example, trash mulch, we talk about water conservation. We talk about remote sensing, apps, sensors, everything we talk. Drip irrigation, of course. But I have experimented myself trash mulching. We have done trash mulching last in 70,000 hectare. 70,000 hectare. Composting, again, we have set up about 20,000 compost pits. We propagate composting in a large scale. So out of these all water conservation practices, both on supply side as well as demand side, happy to share that in now the catchment area of our factory during last 8 years, we have been able to save thousands, approximately 1,080 billion liter of water in the catchment area of our factories, and it has been authenticated by Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Lucknow. So, what I mean to say and want to convey, that proven time-tested practices should be implemented on scale. Of course, we need to embed new technology, but practice should not be ignored. So, these are the few practices which we are implementing in our area. Secondly, because ultimately, because we deal with smallholders, and smallholders cannot afford mechanization on their own. So we have developed about 230 micro entrepreneurs in our area. We have provided them financial literacy. We have provided them how can they manage education regarding operation management, establish their financial linkage with the bank, and generated demand in their area. Now many of them are generating up to the business of approximately 50 to 60 lakhs per annum. And we have added number of equipments in their portfolio. So this is again a very classical example where you can cater to the needs of the smallholders. And these are the activities which we are doing on large scale. Thank you.
Perfect. So now whenever I eat anything which is sweet and I gain some kgs, you'll be surprised. Actually, I think I am gaining asset because inke project ka naam hai Meetha Sona. So I always think actually I added more gold to myself.
No, that's true. And one more, because we have talking about sustainability, and again happy to share that we have 4 plants, and we are the company who has the largest sustainability certification globally of smallholders. Bonsocro certification. All our 4 plants are Bonsocro certified.
Excellent, sir. Definitely, you can see I am a big fan of him because I have visited him regularly and keep on seeing the great work he has been doing, and commercially not attached. So, लोगों को लगा promotion कर रहा है. It's not that. Commercially, I have nothing to do with DCM Sriram. Rakesh, coming back to you, sir. Right? We have talked about so much of biologicals. Now, I think you are in a hot seat because you are one of the company which is doing a lot of work when it comes to agrochemicals. Sir, are you trying to, or are you thinking of how to make your product line more sustainable?
So Deepak ji, I think very important, pertinent question and difficult question this afternoon post lunch, and with such eminent panel. And Dr. Joshi already mentioned about sustainability. Dr. Kumar also mentioned about sustainability. And of course, the agrochemicals, they are required to be used in the balanced amount and proportionate, which is, kind of sometime for the sake of getting more productivity, a farmer tend to use more and excess of it, which results into the harmful impacts on the people. And of course, we promote and we work on the complete value chain, like cotton value chain, right from the pre-emergence, post-emergence, and complete, through the life cycle. How do we use the weed management and pest management? So we believe in that approach. But taking the clue and then a lot of focus on the sustainability. So we are moving in the new direction, and we have also, kind of gone ahead and into the direction of something which is more, kind of biological innovation and pheromone-based, mating prevention solution. So we have moved in that direction, and hopefully that will be more sustainable. And of course, Dr. Joshi mentioned about the good usage and the benefits of having biological solutions in place. I'm sure this will help. But at the same time, when I mentioned this, that we are very excited when this will come into the place, probably after 2 years. But the government of India and Dr. Khan, I'm looking at you and your support. This kind of innovative solution when we bring to the table, and it will be very helpful for the rice crop, stem borer and all, and also in case of maize. So we will need support from the Government of India, specifically Ministry of Agriculture, CIB and RC for the fast registration. Otherwise, you do the innovation, you bring in the best of the best technology, they take 5 years. By the time we implement it at the farmer's field, it's already outdated. So we would, need, that kind of support, hand-holding from the government, so that this kind of solution, biological-based, disruptions can be, implemented at farmers' field at fast. So as you mentioned, we are really excited to see the reality of implementation of this kind of project in India for the benefit of the farmers and for health benefit, as you mentioned, Doctor. Thank you.
That's a great initiative. I think, if we are able to reduce to certain extent some of the chemicals, agrochemicals, and we have seen that chemicals also, as we get more knowledge, we start understanding their impact. DDT was never considered to be something that's it was considered to be a lifesaver. Now, eventually we understood that actually it was not something great which the world achieved by using it. So we have to, I think, step in a great right direction. As always, the Godrej has been pioneers in taking right decisions. Now, again, in case policymakers are sitting here, what sir was saying is very pertinent, because I was engaging with some of those who have been part of the new release of 2 rice varieties on CRISPR-Cas. Gene editing. It's CRISPR-Cas based varieties, and they have done phenomenal work, in such a short span, coming out with those variety. Now, even the government created variety, the efficacy, and finally getting it to the field. They said that from the day, it got okayed in the lab, to get it in the field on a commercial crop, it is going to take 3 years and 8 months. Now, I think we have to find some solution there, because otherwise, most of the innovation will get stifled, and you will find someone outside India being able to create that, bringing that, and then we'll be buying those seeds. I think we have to look at it. So, Kuldeep ji, again back to you, sir. Sir talked about right information for the farmers, addressing their concern, making them aware about the product. Sir, how do you see the role of extension? Because in India, extension is a little bit of choppy, because sir also talked about some of the Samadhan centers you're talking about. Now, the need for such center is that actually our extension service is not working, quote unquote, right? Otherwise, why you need so many private players to be getting into that area, which predominantly is dominated by the government? We are having such a huge budget of there, which is supposed to do all these things. Your views on that, sir?
Deepak ji, as Rakesh ji has rightly said, that in the fields what we have observed, that farmers are more inclined to use more and more pesticides. They think if they use more, they will get the better results. Just to make the awareness among the farmers, what HIL did in the last 2-3 years, we have conducted more than 280 training programs across the country for safe and judicious use of pesticides and the IPM practices. And we have trained more than, the training of the trainers, more than 80,000 farmers were trained on that. And we understand and we got the feedback, every farmers they have trained after reaching in their village, more than 100 farmers. That way, around 8 lakhs farmers we have trained across the country about the safe and judicious use of the pesticides, so that the harmful impact of the chemical and the balanced use of the pesticide can be done. And number 2, I want to inform you that HIL is also into the seed production, and we are producing around 6 lakhs quintal of seeds. And for sustainability of the agriculture, since last year we have decided to produce around 70,000 quintals of the green manure seeds. And I am happy to inform you in this Rabi season and the Kharif season, we have supplied 70,000 of green manure seeds to the farmers across the country for the sustainability. Thank you.
Perfect. I think that is what is required, industry working very closely with the farmers, make them aware about some of the things which they are doing might not be right. Now coming to you, Dr. Bakul, connecting the same dot, how difficult it is to convince farmer about biologicals. You talked about a great example where a kid was able to understand. So it is about negative about chemicals, right? But how to make farmers positive about biologicals. Right.
Yeah.
They are. I'll just complete that. So they are troubled that actually we are using too much of chemicals, because of that MRL issues are coming and there is a rejection and all that. But at the same time, which biological? How do I trust? Because even biological, we are talking about biofertilizers, and the definition, believe me, only Einstein can decipher it. A person like me is also I am not able to understand why a 8% NPK extracted out of cow dung cannot be called a biofertilizer.
Yeah.
Right. But a microbe which I don't know whether it is going to fix nitrogen or not, but still it is considered to be a biofertilizer. So I think the definitions are very complex. Same is when we talk about biocontrol, with mechanism and stimulant is it's a rocket science, right? It's not easy for any common man to understand it. How do you think, like, in such a complex environment, farmer will understand biologicals?
So, few things we do there, right? You can sell pesticides through push strategies, and farmers already know that chemical pesticides are known to be effective, and they use it because they have been using for quite some time. Actually, seeing is believing is the concept we use. So our entire team is working on wherever we go, we conduct complete demonstration of the package. And we give a complete challenge that you use it in 1 acre, as somebody rightly mentioned. You use it in 1 acre, and like Chhattisgarh farmers and Kutch farmers and all, they are telling, even Punjab farmers and all, they are telling that, I mean, you are not reaching out to so many people, your products are very good, you are not able to reach out. See, the thing is, biological companies in biologicals are relatively smaller, so their muscles power, money power is lesser than that of the big, large MNCs. So they can build narrative, we are not able to build narrative, the kind of narrative we should build, but now there is an awareness. For now, to change this, what we need to do, I had gone to Australia in 2002 to study cotton industry. And for farmer to spray next round, who decide? No, farmer alone cannot decide. It is the farmer, it is the scientist, it is the company and government. They sit together and they decide what should be the next round. Why? Because they have to maintain the product life cycle and they have to manage the resistance. What is happening in India, and I'm so sorry to say this, we need to be a little collaborative, right? Universities, research institutions, extension machinery should work in collaboration with the private industry. That if at all we work together and really everybody talks that integrate biologicals with chemical pesticides. See, I don't say chemical pesticides are bad. Now, the new generation molecules are very, very safe molecules. Green label chemistries are coming, blue label chemistries are coming. We have to really do away from the red labels. But industry and all the influencers, they have to work together. Now, last point. When I wanted to study who are the influencers to the farming community, and you would be surprised to know, best of the YouTubers I found in villages. Best of the YouTubers I found villages. They generate content, and since they are from farming community, like word of mouth spreads faster because that content is generated by farmer himself. Now, what kind of content they generate, that is more important. So we have to influence the influencer by which they generate an authenticated content, and through that, the message of biologicals will go to the farmer with the testimonials, and that will create a narrative for biologicals. That's what my feeling is. This is how we can reach out to the farmer. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And in fact, the social media is becoming very, very pervasive nowadays. It's very easy to reach. In fact, I'm seeing a lot of people are taking a lot of selfies here, right? So that's the best part of it. Democratization of information. Back to Jiten sir, actually, we talked about the funding of biotech, but do you think it's still sufficient, right? Or more can be done because dil mange more?
Funding from government side is always less. Whatever you fund, it is always short, falls short of what is expected. However, having said that, that said, the government is always increasing its funding more and more. Let's talk about, say, BIRAC funding. So BIRAC funding started with a small fund of 50 lakhs per innovator, and now with the area of funding starting from SIBRI, which is Small Business Innovation Research Initiative, to BIPP, which is Biotechnology Industry Promotion Program. And all these are applicable to agriculture also. Don't think that these are only for high-tech cell and gene therapy and mammalian cultures, etc. These are for agriculture also, and related secondary agriculture, climate change, etc. So the area of funding has increased, and we have mapped the value chain of the full agriculture as well as other fields, and saw the gap where the gap funding is there, and that we have created. This is a unique program that BIRAC has created for funding the, where the gap is. So we have seen an increasing trend to, answer that question. However, you are very, very right. The funding is definitely short of what is, expected. The reason I'll tell you. When there is an innovation, the deep tech, when somebody is innovating, he has to do proof of concept in the lab, whether it's working or not, which requires some funding, say 50 lakhs, which we give as a biotech ignition grant. However, he or she or that company will have to scale it up, scale up the technology. For example, if DCM Shriram has to find a microbial strain which increases the yield of ethanol through conversion from the sugar cane to ethanol, the technology has to be perfect in the lab first, and then scale up has to be done, whether it's working the scale up or not. Just to give an example. So we do not have that kind of mechanism for a scale up funding so far. That is a gap. So if we cannot scale up the technologies, actually we are saying that, okay, babies are born, but we are throwing it away because we don't have money to actually nurture it. And there is no venture capital at that early stage, actually speaking. A risky stage there is no venture capital. We are looking at venture capital, but they are not able to fund our International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. ICGB has created that concoction of strains which are important to convert this into bioethanol, cellulase enzyme, etc. But there is no venture capitals in this market. So who will take this technology forward is a question. Then you need, this is not only about the technology funding, but you need a scale-up infrastructure. You need to have fermenters, you need to have reactors, you need to have a good scale-up facility. How the funding will come from that is a big question for our country. So government has come up with the biomanufacturing and biofoundry scheme under Bio-E3 policy, which you must have heard about. The Bio-E3 policy. The Bio-E3 policy gives the funding up to 70 crores, which is a good amount, to create an infrastructure, to create biomanufacturing hubs, to create biomanufacturing plant, to create biomanufacturing or biofoundries. And this is 70 crore plus 30 crore has to come from the investor, which is also innovator, which is also a big amount, but at least it is a great assistance, I think. And I think there could be multiple fundings. So if some innovator has to develop one product, then they can apply another product, they can apply. So there definitely government is doing its work, what is required to actually map that value chain and actually start funding. To give an example, for example, we are talking about biological control. We have an innovator sitting here who are funded by BIRAC, Dr. Gorantla, Markande Gorantla, ATGC, which has come up with a hormone technology, the pheromone technology for biological control. Amazing technology, but again he needs funds for scale up. And he had applied to us, and we may consider his application. So that gap also government is trying to fulfill. However, the awareness of these schemes are still less in our country. Not many people know that we have such facilities from the government side, we have such schemes, etc. So we receive, at least in agriculture, I am saying we are not receiving very good applications, good technology applications, or applications, applicants who have good technology. So again, suggested by previous speaker, YouTubers, social media. And for agriculture, one important thing is we are still following TNV system, training and visit system of extension. But actually now with the emergence of technology, the mechanism, what earlier was following was first some innovator or early adopters will actually implement the technology, and then people surrounding the field, they will just come to know, and all that can be disrupted by the social media. You do develop a good YouTube content and stream it. And government can definitely do its bit to enhance it and put in our websites, etc. So I think these are the works being done.
No, sure, government has done it. In fact, they have put up a studio actually in Krishi Bhavan where you can go and record videos, and it can be either shared through your own YouTube channels, or also can be broadcasted through the TV channel. I think it is Krishi, Krishi, there's some Doordarshan channel which is on Kheti, right? They can do that. And sir, one more thing, like, I'll just give an example. A company called Inari in US, their biological testing budget, one company, is more than the complete, far more than, in fact, more than all the private startup-based investment in biotechnology related to agriculture in India. So I think in the industry also, like, which keeps on cribbing that productivity nahi hai, are they contributing sufficiently, right? It's easy to leave everything on the government. Government is not doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But if soya bean is still at 800 kgs per hectare, why soya bean commodity players are not looking at increasing productivity? Or for that matter, if I keep on talking about, like, the productivity of pulses is lower than Myanmar, then what we as a pulses industry are doing to support these initiatives. I think this is like, we want to have all the good things, but we don't want to have risk capital by the private sector and leave the risk only to government, which doesn't work. I think the industry people should also look at it and see to it that we can put the money where the actually mouth is.
I'll just say one sentence, and after that, very rightly said, there is a lot of expectation from government, but there is a private sector R&D is just lagging behind. If you see the data, the 6.5% or whatever, 7% of GDP we spend in R&D, mostly it is into public research institution. Though no contribution, very less contribution is coming from private R&D. So these schemes that we have put together, co-funding schemes, so we put some money and industry put some money, will increase the R&D capability of this. So this is a mechanism to actually bring the investment from the private player into R&D.
Yes, so not all, but actually we have mindset of buy rather than build. So Tamakji, like, you are someone who have been building it. Sir, your views and your views for the industry, what industry should do, like you have put in so much of effort, you are putting one of the largest labs and all that. How we can ensure that the industry also play their role in building nation and building nation's technology and innovation?
Great. I think my previous speaker has touched this subject. Today is the age of bio. And sugar industry ecosystem is so well established in the country. There is no parallel. And in today's age, whether it is bioethanol, whether it is now we are talking of sustainable aviation fuel, now we are producing bio-CNG, we are producing biofertilizer. So lot even biomaterials, even biochemicals, green chemicals can be produced out of bioethanol. So this entire bio-value chain, sugar industry can play a significant role in creation of that value chain. But the crux is the productivity again. And in productivity, one thing I would like to supplement to what you have just mentioned, Deepak. The main role comes of variety. It takes about 12 to 13 years to develop a sugarcane variety. And there is no participation of private sector. As chairman of the Sugarcane Subcommittee of Indian Sugar Mills Association, we have proposed, we have discussed this issue amongst ourselves, and very recently we have organized a workshop also of all the directors of research of the country, of all the commissioners of various states, that we should create partnership and industry should participate actively in research and also use the latest technology for speedy breeding, for breeding climate resilient varieties, using AI tools in breeding, and gene sequencing or gene editing, all technology. This is the domain of breeders. But conceptually, we should try to develop some program where industry, farmer, and researchers, there has to be a strong partnership, and we should use the latest technology to breed wonderful varieties. Then only the real value of the sector can be unlocked. Thank you.
Perfect. With this, actually, I would like to end this excellent session with some of the eminent panelists. Innovation is not just an activity. It is about mindset. So let's change the mindset and make India the innovation hub of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. I would now invite Ms. Nazma Shamim from Agriculture Today Group to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude to all our eminent and distinguished panelists. We begin with honoring Mr. Deepak Parekh, our distinguished moderator for this session. Mr. Himanshu Ratan, Partner and Head, Food Agriculture and Allied Services, GNPS KPMG. He's not here? Okay, I'm sorry. Dr. Jitendra Kumar, Managing Director, BIRAC. Mr. R.L. Tamak, Chief Executive Officer, DCM Shriram. Mr. Rakesh Swami, President, Godrej India. Dr. Bakul Joshi, Managing Director, T. Staines and Company Limited. And Mr. Kuldeep Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, HIL India Limited. Thank you, and I would now request a group photograph of the panel. You may kindly join the panelists for the group photograph.